Good evening, everyone. We apologize. Do you realize that Daryl and I have been talking for the last 10 minutes and we thought we were live?
Yeah, we've been sitting talking 15 minutes.
We're live. We are live with everyone. So, guys, super excited to have you guys all in. I should have known we weren't live because I didn't have a number up at the top showing how many people were in here. We appreciate each and every one of you being in here with us tonight. But at least Dick and Daryl and I have already talked about a couple of things before any of you guys got on here. So, super excited to be here with Daryl. Dig and Daryl is in the house, guys. If y'all don't know Dig and Daryl, he's one of our loyal followers, subscribers, supports us all the way through and through. We appreciate him being in here with us. And let's do a couple of shout outs. Mr. Bobby Short. Bobby, your RC remote head lock is coming, so look out for that. That's coming real soon. I'm going to go through it. Mr. NC Relic Hunter. Ricky Bennett's in the house with us. Dirt Devil Detective's in the house with us. Head Hacker Coin Slayer's in the house with us. Mr. Chris is in the house with us. Rito Marcella's in the house with us. James Letner's in the house. Glad to have James. Don't Tread on Me's in here with us tonight. Appreciate him being here. My main hunting partner, Mr. Surfside Dan, is in here. Let's see here. Don't want to miss anybody. DC Diggins in the house. Michael Pension's in the house with us. DC Diggin. Head Hacker Coin Slayer's in here. And let's see who else. Let's see here. Doug Atkins is in the house. Glad to have Doug Atkins. Golden Dredger is in the house. Wilton 925 is in the house. Good evening. Glad to have you. And Mr. James Bazell is in the house. So again, guys, I apologize. Dick and Daryl and I carried on a whole conversation for about 10 minutes, but before we even realized I hadn't hit the live button. But we're live now. Glad to have everyone in here with us. And super excited. Hope everybody's had a great and wonderful work week and ready for the weekend. Hopefully, maybe you got to do some detecting this week. Maybe you got to get out and find some things. We do have some finds that we're going to show. We got a lot of great stuff that we're going to talk about. So, Dig and Daryl, let's dive right into it because we wasted the first 10 minutes, but we're going to dive right into this. So,
a lot of you got in the mail.
Yeah, that's it. Right. That's okay. So a lot of you are here for this. And we've got the M9 coil is in the house, round coil. It's very light. In fact, it weighs lighter than the M8 coil. So, yeah, it is a super fantastic coil. I have yet to take it out on a hunt, but I have run it through some separation tests. Manticore passes with flying colors. And Dig and Daryl and I have already sort of talked a little bit about this, but I'm gonna throw a little bit over to him. Dig and Daryl, tell everyone what do you really like about the Manticore as far as what you've seen so far from it, and give us a quick rundown.
Yeah, I keep mine dressed up. I've got all the stuff on it, but I've got the little M8 coil on there, and I've got the 11 or the M15, and I'll have the M9 here Monday. But it's so user friendly. The program that is easy accessible, maneuvering around the program and things like that. But my lab has stepped it up,
right,
with all these new coils but that little M8 coil, and I think a lot of people ask, which one should I get? The M8, M9, which one. But I think both. I think you're gonna want them all.
Right. Well, and I've always said this too, Daryl, and I know you've heard me say this as well. You can go back into a site and you can hunt with one coil, and you can go back in with another coil, and you might find something that you miss with that coil. Yep. And it just depends, you can hunt all sorts of different ways with different programs, different coils, and so on. But I think the more you have in your arsenal, the better off you're going to be.
But have you ever had a metal detector that's this easy to maneuver around in?
No, I have not. And I'll tell you what, the user interface, and you and I were talking a little bit about this on off screen. The user interface on the Manticore is just so intuitive. It's real easy to use. It's real
Yep.
easy to run. And then you factor in all the different coil selections now that Minelab is offering. Um, Minelab is really doing a great job with that. And you know, the M15, you guys saw me do a big hunt with the M15. I've got that coil. Y'all have seen me hunt with the 11. I'm getting ready to go out and hunt with the 9, and I've got the 8. And you know, I like the 8. I mean, one thing that I like about the 8 is just you can just get into areas that you could have never gotten into with a regular size coil. The sweet spot though on that 8 is very, very tight. So that's the only thing I see with that smaller coil. And I've said this a gazillion times. But again, when you're hunting in tight spots, you want that size coil. That's a great size coil to have. So it's very, very good. But I'm real excited to use the M9. Again, if you're looking for an M9 coil, down at the bottom, you see Joel's information scrolling across. He can get you set up for one. I'm not sure if he has any right now on in stock, but I know he's got more coming. And so if you want to get in on that list, because those coils I know are selling like hotcakes. Digging Daryl's got one coming, I know. And I know he's super excited about getting that coil. Let's look at this coil real quick, Digging Daryl. And one thing you'll notice about this coil is it's thin.
They did that for water, right?
Yeah, they did it. They did it for water, and again, it's
Weight.
lighter. It's lighter than the M8. So I believe that this is going to be the one that you're going to want on your machine. This is probably going to be the best all-around versatile coil that you're going to have. Although the 11-inch, of course, most of these machines, when they're designed, they're more designed towards that 11-inch coil than they are the other size coils. Now, you and I have talked a little bit about this off screen is, well, what are we going to do with the sensitivity on these coils?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you've agreed with me that you think running that sensitivity is a little bit lower is where you're going to want to go with these smaller coils. What do you
on this M8, what are we running? 16 to 18?
Yeah, 16 to 18 on those coils are going to be the best possible spot, I think, to run on this coil. Now on the M9, I'm sorry, on the M8, but on the M9, I don't know yet. So I'm gonna sort of play around with that as I start to hunt with it a little bit, and let's see what sensitivity works best with it. But I don't think you need to run the sensitivity up really high on any of these coils. I think once you go above 22 or 21, you start to get into a gray area.
Yeah, we learned that early on in our test gardens that anything over 20, you're pushing it. You're going to start getting a lot of iron falsing, a lot of chatter. Lower the sensitivity. It's got so much power going to the coil. So,
right. Golden Dredger says he ran his M15 and he found 2 silvers.
Awesome.
With that M15, that is really, really cool. I'm curious, what is the highest frequency available on the Manticore? And it's 40 kilohertz.
40 kilohertz.
Yeah, 40 kilohertz is where it runs. And most of these machines have pretty much settled in at 40 kilohertz. Golden Dredger says the M15 is a deep ripper. Only hit that golf course part for 45 minutes and pulled a Rosie and a 1924 Merc in 3 weeks. One was a 1925 Wheatie. That's awesome. But that M15, I mean, I showed that coil. That one target that Michael and I dug that day with that M15 was just unbelievable because it was mixed with so many nails, but it was probably a good 15, 14, 13 inch. It was in that range. Mm-hmm. And it was a big old dandy butt digging there. I mean, a massive.
I've got a Kennedy half dime about 16 inches. That 15-inch coil right there hits it like it's an inch deep.
Mm-hmm.
My test card.
It really does. And like I said, I'm real excited about the M9. I think if you got the Manticore and you want to test out that M9 coil, I've always loved the 9-inch round coil. That was what I used on my Deus. That's what I used on my Deus too, for the most part. It's a very versatile coil. It gives you some ground coverage, but it also can give excellent depth. And I'm really curious to see how this one performs. Minelab is selling these things like hotcakes. So if you want to get one, check out Joel. Joel can get you set up and get you in the right direction to get that M9 coil. And again, I know some of you have already asked me about doing a comparison video, M8 versus M9. What do you think about that, Daryl? You think that would be a good video?
It would be, especially in trash areas. I know you put these coils to a test. So I know if he put out some stuff the other day on the
He
new
did.
coil, but you put out some tough tests on these machines. So we'll see.
I know,
I'm looking forward to it.
I like. I mean, I try to run these machines, especially in these tests when I do them. I try to run it in the hardest possible situation that I know that I could encounter. So that really taxes those machines, but it really shows me the capability of those machines.
Right.
And that's why I do the 3D elevated test. I do a nail above, but I also do a nail on the same plane. I don't think you get a true representation of it by doing a same plane nail test.
Right.
I mean, how many times am I going to encounter one nail? Most of my spots are going to be multiple nails. I need to know if it's laying above, if it's laying side by side. And heck, I could put a nail underneath and really get even more of an idea. But Michael and I have seen this. I know Daryl's probably seen this too, where you dig a target and there's 5 or 6 nails mixed in with that hole that you just dug, and the Manticore has picked that target out. Daryl, what do you think about the Manticore screen?
I love
what you have noticed with
the
that
screen and it's simplified. You know, I bought my son the Legend, and I've been metal teching for about 10 years. That Legend's pretty hard to maneuver around in, and once you work with the Deus 2, you figure it out. It's pretty simple, but the Manticore is just it tops all of them. It's the simplicity of it. I really like it.
It does. The user interface, just like you're saying, once you know how to maneuver around in that user interface on that machine,
yep.
the Manticore is heads and shoulders above, I think, above any machine out there.
Yep.
And you guys all know I love the Deus 2. The Deus 2 is a strong machine. It's what I've used for a very, very long time. But I've also used all these other machines too. So I've got a good perspective over, all of these machines. I've used the Legend, I've used all of them. And again, the user interface on the Manticore is probably one of the best that I've seen out there in a long time. It just does. It's just real easy to operate, real easy to work. And again, that's where I'm at with the Manticore. Don't Tread on Me Metal Detecting says, I believe the Deus will come out with their small coil when they figure out how to raise the frequency, and it will be a game changer and well worth the wait. Well, that was the other topic on here, and that's why I'm glad that Daryl's on here with me tonight, is that I know Daryl has been using the Deus 2, right, for a long time. And we all agree it's a great machine. But we also understand that this business and this whole metal detecting industry, you have got to keep up. And right now, I don't know where XP's head is in all of this. I mean, you've got Minelab coming out with things. You got them introducing a 9-inch coil, which is I'm already going to tell you this, that coil is going to rival a Deus 2 9-inch round coil. It really will. And it makes that machine feel totally different. The ergonomics of that machine are going to change dramatically over that 11-inch. You're going to love it. I mean, you just are. But Minelab's releasing things, Nocta's releasing updates. You've got to sort of try to keep up, and I don't know what XP is doing at this point. I've been feeding them things, trying to tell them, hey, look, we you need to do something. You need to try to come out with something. If you've got anything, now's the time to do it. Otherwise, these machines are going to surpass, and it could be that XP does have something coming, but how long are you going to sit on it? The small coil would be nice, but now's the time to do it. I mean, if you're going to do it, you got to. I hate to say it, but you got to sort of keep up with the Joneses. Everybody else is putting out stuff, and you're sort of sitting there. You've got to do something. You got to have a new product, something that can get people more fired up about it. Because let's face it, the XP Deus 2 is now what, 2 years, almost 3 years old, and you've got to keep innovating. And I'm not saying they're not innovating, but they're not putting out the products that show that the innovation is coming, or they're not telling anyone that innovation is coming. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Golden Dredger says, all these coins I'm getting in the 10-inch of dirt of full pinpointer depth plus 4 inches of grass on top of that. I bought the M15 with the hopes it would reach down and get some silver, and it sure enough did. I agree with you. That M15 is deep. He said, I'm super pleased with the Manticore M8, M11, M15. I have many hours on my Manticore now. I'm finally starting to get a real feel for the targets. That's awesome to hear, buddy. And I know you've done extremely well with it for sure. And Head Hacker Coin said, crap, I had a hard time just buying the WS6 Master. I could never afford a Manticore on SSI. I don't know what's SSI.
I'm not sure what SSI is. Yeah, Manticore had a heck of a deal here just a week ago.
Yeah, I mean, heck, they had it for what, $12.99?
I think it wasn't $11.99.
$11.99. I mean,
like $500 off.
Hey, I want to say something, but I can't. But I am going to say this. Get ready for June the 3rd, Digging Daryl.
June 3rd.
June 3rd.
I'll mark it on my calendar.
Yeah, go ahead and mark it on your calendar, June 3rd. Golden Dredger says, I have the 9-inch on my Deus 2, so I'm going to pass for the M9 for the Manticore. Deus 2 9-inch has me covered. I'm telling you, you're going to want that 9-inch. I hate to tell you that, Golden Dredger. And look, I'm the biggest XP Deus 2 fan in the world when it comes to swinging that machine. But that Manticore 9-inch I think is going to be something really special. So wait for the videos. Wait, you guys hold your money if you want to, and wait and see what I can do with it. But I think the 9-inch coil is going to be a good coil. I think it's going to be one you're going to want. If you got a Manticore, you're going to want that 9-inch coil for sure. So definitely.
Correct me if I'm wrong too, Teach, but hasn't this coil been out? Haven't they had it for about a year?
They've had it. They've been testing it for a while. I do know that. I mean, I talked to a lot of people. I talked to some people that are testers, and they've had that coil out for a little bit.
Yeah.
And but I don't even think the testers expected it to ever even hit the market, but it hit the market for sure. So
well, hey, hats off to Minelab. It took forever for us to get the M8, and whenever the M9 kind of came out, I don't know what, 3-4 weeks ago maybe, when the rumor was. Now, I've got one coming. You've got one. A lot of people's getting them. So
yeah,
that's good.
It's good. I'm just, I'm ecstatic that Minelab went ahead and released this coil, because again, it just shows me their commitment to giving us what we want. And Minelab research, Minelab engineers, they're pretty top-notch dudes. I mean, I'm just being honest. XP Deus, the Deus XP metal detectors, they've got some top flight engineers too as well, but they're not giving us what the customers are demanding for.
Right.
I get it. You've got to test it. You got to run it through its paces to make sure, just like Don't Tread on Me said. He said, well, when it comes out, it's going to be breakthroughs, not before. I get all of that. But
I talked to Debbie back at the Kaduha hunt last year. She said they had over 100 engineers working at Minelab.
Right. And XP doesn't, I mean, I'm going to be honest, XP doesn't have that type of workforce as far as engineers go. And so it takes them a lot longer to get things out. I'm sure that's what it is.
Maybe.
But hey, if you're going to be in this market, you're going to be in this market, and you can't sit back and rest on your laurels. And the XP Deus 2 is a great machine. I love that machine, and I'll use that machine and I'll find stuff with that machine. I try to show you guys everything across the board so you do get a feel that there are other things out there for everyone to look at, because you can take any of these machines, and I've said this 100 times, you can take any of these machines and find stuff. These top end premium machines like the Deus 2, the Manticore, the Legend in some cases, the Equinox in some cases, all of those machines are great machines. You know, I think I could pick up any of those machines. I think Daryl could pick up any of those machines. Michael, I know, Calabash, any of us, and we could go out and hunt with those machines, and we're going to find stuff. It's probably about a 1% to 2% improvement that you're going to see versus some of those others, if not even smaller than that. When you get to that upper tier level, at least that's what I think.
I agree.
Yeah. Hey, Lewis, how you doing tonight? Glad to have you in here. He says SSI was Social Security income. I get that 100%. Oh gosh, yes, definitely for sure. Lewis says I use my own Knox 600. I just bought the Knox 700, so that's enough for me, and that's perfectly fine.
That's great machine.
Yeah, those are great machines. I have the 900. I love the 900. I just got through telling Dig and Daryl. I said, I had all purposes of using the 900 last weekend, and I got so excited with the Manticore that I sort of left the 900 back. But I am going to be showing the 900 coming up. The 900 knocks fire too, guys, and it is a solid machine. It's a stable machine. It runs very well in iron. And I know they say on the 900 that they haven't done that many differences to it as far as the processor goes, but that machine seems faster than the 800. And maybe that's just me thinking that, but it does seem to react and respond on the recovery speed on it. I think it works. It works better. It works faster, in my opinion. So we'll see.
Yeah, them Equinox. They're great machines. 600 all the way up to the 900. Can't go wrong with them.
Right, definitely. Golden Dredger says, "What's the M9 price tag?" I think Joel has them for $279, I believe, or $272. It's in that range. It's $270 something, but it's in that range. Golden Dredger, give Joel a shout. He can probably get you hooked up. You can check out his link there too, metal detecting buy sell trade USA.com, or you can email him at leebelt@gmail.com. Or you can give him a phone call. His phone number's on there too as well, and he'll be glad to get you hooked up with an M9 coil. Let's see here. Doug Atkins says, I'm on the fence about buying a 13-inch coil for my Deus 2. I love my 13-inch coil.
I love that 13-inch coil.
Yeah, I do too. I love it. I mean, you're getting really good ground coverage with the depth. And it separates, Daryl, really, really well for me.
That's good.
It does a very, very good job of separation with the 13-inch coil. So it's really good. Hey, Bells is in the house with us, Dig and Daryl. So glad to have Bells in here with us. Don't Tread on Me says, seems to me no one has a high frequency, multi-frequency coil. Stay strong, Deus peeps. Laugh out loud. I hope they come out with it. I've been talking to them over the last few weeks. Don't Tread on Me. I want that coil to come out, and it just doesn't seem like it should have taken 2 years to release it. That's my whole thing. I don't know. I don't know what the holdup is. They're not going to tell me that, but I really wish they would come out with it. And as soon as they come out with it, or as soon as they let me know some of this stuff, then I'll be glad to tell you guys and pass on this information. But right now they're sort of stagnant. These other companies are sending out stuff, and now we got Garrett coming out with their machine. We don't know what that's going to be.
Storm.
Although a lot of us have heard that it's going to be more of an introductory type machine, but I don't know. I really don't know up to this point. Thank you, Wilton95, for the $10 donation. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're trying to provide some good information for everyone, and we appreciate all donations. Again, super chat, super thanks. All go back to the channel, and they help us out with our ventures, help us out with cameras, drones, all the other things that we use in our videos. And this live stream's not free either, by the way. It costs me $50 a month just to do these live streams and have this service. So again, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, Wilton 925. We appreciate that donation. Louis Villarreal says, I just got permission at a really old house that now belongs to comedian Steve Trivion's father. The dirt has been torn up. I'm sure there's lots of goodies there. Sounds like a great spot for sure. Detective Two Guns, right. The 13-inch on the beach, digging down that 13-inch on the beach with that, you put in the WS6 Master and put that 13-inch on there. It's a good combo setup for the
I don't know anything about a beach. I'm about 1,200 miles from any beach.
Well, it does. It works really well on the beach. I'm a mile from the beach. He's 1,300 miles. I'm a mile from the beach. And it does. It works extremely well on the beach. It gives you really good ground coverage. LC Hunt's in the house. We got something coming up from LC in a few minutes. He says the 13-inch coil for the Deus 2 is awesome. I totally agree.
I agree 100%.
I agree with you. I use the 13-inch on the Deus 2 in my field permission, and it worked great. It really does. I think everybody's agreeing with us. Yeah. Doug Atkins got the 13-inch. I really like it. DC Diggins says he likes it.
Everybody owns one. They
Oh yeah. All you got to do is put one in. You get put one in your hands, and the 15-inch for the Manticore really. It's lighter than what you think. In fact, I think the design of it is very similar to what they've done with the M9. It's a very thin coil. It's got the 15-inch spread out, but it's a very thin 15-inch, isn't it, Daryl?
Yes, it is. It's not heavy at all. I've got it right here. It's not heavy at all. I don't know what the weight is on it, but I put it on that day or on that Manticore and swung it around a little bit, took it out to the fields, and I mean it's not much heavier than the 11-inch, really.
So digging down, the other thing, I mean, I know we've talked a lot about the M9. We've talked about the Manticore. We've talked about the Deus 2. Those were the things that I really wanted to get into tonight. But also too, Nocta has responded back too with their latest update, which is their final version of the Beast mode. I don't know. Do you have a Legend, Daryl?
My son does. I bought him one a couple of months ago, but we hadn't done anything with it. He lives up in Rolla, which is about 4 hours from me. So he wanted to get into Metal Tech, and I bought him a Legend, but we have not done anything with it.
Right. Well, the 1.15 update is available now for those of you that are Legend users, or you've got somebody or know somebody that has a Legend. You might want to tell them that if they don't know. Which has the Beast mode on it. And it's I used the 1.14. I really like that DT, that deep target setting that they have for the regular programs. The Beast mode program, it just still sort of seems a little bit unstable in some cases from what I've seen, Digging Daryl. But the Legend, again, for the price point, what you're getting with that machine and what that machine is capable of, you really can't go wrong. I mean, I think it's $579, somewhere in that range. I'm not totally sure, but I think it's somewhere in that range.
Watching your videos, the separation does pretty well too with that Legend.
Right, and I've tried to explain that to everyone. I think it's underestimated as far as a relic hunting machine. Now I love it out on the beach, but I really think it is underestimated as far as its relic hunting capabilities. It does separate really, really well. And I've enjoyed swinging it. The only problem I got with that machine, and I told you this earlier, is even with that carbon graphite lower and upper and the cuff and all that, it still feels heavy to me. It wears on my arm, when I start swinging it. But I can still swing it. Don't get me wrong. It just, I can tell there's a difference as far as the weight versus the other machines that I have. And, I don't know. I and I've said this before too. I think Nocta is a company that's going to be coming out with something really, really good really soon that is going to rival both the other major manufacturers and competitors too.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah, I think they will. I really do. They're close. They're that close, Daryl. I really believe that. The audio is the only other factor that I see with the Legend. It doesn't. It's just not that crisp, clear audio. It sort of sounds, I don't know, sort of clunky, sort of tin cannerish. I guess is the word. If that's a word.
Yeah.
That's
well,
the way
I played with it when I first bought it from Sun. I mean, to me, it's hard to maneuver around the interface on it. I'd like to see them do something with that, but
well, and and here's the thing that I've noticed too, Digging Daryl. You talk about that. The double score interface is to me a little easier to use than the Legend interface.
Yeah.
You got to hold down this button, long press this button. I mean, you got to go through all those different steps for setting up your iron ferrous, your recovery. I mean, not your recovery, but your stability, your salt sensitivity, your iron filter rejection, all of that stuff. You got to do all these crazy things to sort of set it up. So there you go.
Ben said we've got a big announcement coming from Minelab on the 20th of May.
Yeah, that was the other thing. But there's another big. That's what I'm telling you, Digging Daryl. Minelab's going for the jugular with a lot of these companies, and I don't know what some of these companies are doing. They're going to try. They're going to try their best, I think, to take over the whole market. But they're going for the jugular. And I don't know what's going to happen on May 20th, but yes, they're right. I sent that out the other day for sure. Golden Dredger says 15-inch on my Legend is a tank. That's right. I couldn't swing that 15-inch, Daryl. my poor arm and shoulder would be ruined.
Guys, I've had both shoulders replaced, and I can swing at 15, so I know you guys can.
Yeah, I couldn't swing it, Daryl. Not at all. But the M15 for the Manticore, I think it's not bad at all. I swung it all day. Michael got to see me swing it. Put up a video about it. But if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. But had no problem with it, and it's not as heavy as you think it's going to be.
Teach, I see Joel's in the house. Maybe he can answer the question. Does he have any more of the M9s, and how much are they?
Yeah. So Joel, everybody's really asking about the M9. And they want to know how they can get their hands on one from you, how fast you can get them, when you're going to have them, so on. So, I mean, I know you're on here, so I'm going to let you leave a comment over there for them. Tell them how. I mean, I've got your information scrolling across the bottom, but they're all interested in getting a hold of you for that M9 coil. So you definitely
have mine, Joe. Mine's in the mail. I'll be here Monday.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I think Surfside Dan's got one coming too. And I know there's a lot of other people on here that are very interested in the.
If you don't care, I want to look at my shirt. Can you see this Southern Relic shirt?
Yeah.
And I was talking. I don't know what this is made out of. Some South Carolina cotton or something.
It's not South Carolina cotton,
but it is so comfortable. You guys need to get one and try it out. It is. I know the cotton didn't come from here in Missouri, but it's really soft. I like it. Enjoy it.
Yes. Well, thank you, Darryl. I appreciate that. Yeah, those shirts, they do run with that soft cotton feel. They might run, I will say this, Darryl, they might run a little bit small in some of those softer cottons, but they are a great shirt. I don't have mine on tonight, but yeah, they're super comfortable, super lightweight. I like those shirts. So yeah, guys, if you want to support the channel and you're looking for an extra nice t-shirt, check out, and you can order one of those t-shirts off the channel as well. Joel says to contact him for pre-order is the fastest way. He says they're $272. So again, 272. But guys, I'm telling you, I think it is going to be the coil that everyone's going to want on their machines, especially if you're a relic hunter. I think it's the best of both worlds. I think you get good ground coverage, and I think you get great separation with the M9. I think that's what we're going to see, and I will be testing it out very, very soon. So again, hit Joel up. Information scrolling across the bottom. Joel's real quick. Daryl will tell you he's real fast about getting that stuff out very quick to you. And Surfside Dan, I know, has got one coming from to him as well from Joel. So again, they're going to be selling like hotcakes. So you definitely want to get your hands on them.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, but he's right up there with Amazon. You order it one day and it's there a couple of days later. I don't know how he does
it. Yeah, he's good. He's real good about shipping it out in a hurry to you. So he definitely can get you hooked up. So check Joel out and give him a shout. He'll definitely do that. Doug Atkins, Joel, he wants to know, do you have any 13-inch coils for the Deus 2? And I know he can probably get you hooked up with a 13-inch coil, as we were talking about the bigger coils for the Legend and for the Manticore and so on. So yeah, we've got Joel can definitely get you hooked up with those.
I'll tell you what I did with my 13-inch coil on the Deus 2. I've got this big one. Then I've got the Steve's shaft.
Yeah, the Steve's rods
with a counterweight on it.
Yeah, you like that counterweight?
I love it. I know some people don't. I love it. I can swing that big coil all day now with that counterweight.
Yeah.
And remember now, I had shoulder replacement, so I mean I had to do something. And whenever I got this, I can swing it.
Yeah. Well, that 13-inch coil, it's pure fire. Let me show you. I'll show y'all the setup that I use with the 13. I try to make it as light as I can, but what I do, there it is.
Yeah.
But what I do is I run the WS6 with the 13-inch.
I've got it, but I had trouble maneuvering around in that little puck. I like my remote.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm hearing from a lot of people. You know, it's cumbersome. It's cheaper. I get it. But again, if you got big fingers, Daryl.
No, I got long fingers, skinny fingers.
Yeah, but it still makes it tough. And if you got bad eyes too, especially when you maneuver around in the menu, that's where it can sort of become an issue. And again, that's just one more thing that XP can address to sort of meet what customers want, and maybe they will, and I'm hoping they will. And,
but when you buy the Deus 2 with the remote and the puck, you get 2 Deus 2s.
That's exactly right. You really get 2 machines, but of course, again, you got to buy a shaft.
Yeah.
Another coil.
Right.
And so on. But again, you do get 2 machines. You're exactly right.
2 machines out of one.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that Deus 2, that WS6 Master works just the same as your regular remote.
Right.
So you got that right there for you. So that's the beauty of that. But again, you mentioned some of the drawback. The drawback is sort of small. It can be a little bit tedious and cumbersome trying to access the buttons and things on it. But you still get Deus 2 performance in that small puck. And that's the main selling feature.
You know what program I got in that little puck?
What's that?
Sweeper,
yes. The sweeper. You know, I've had more people comment on that sweeper program.
Good program.
Than probably anything that I've ever done. People love that sweeper program. And it just unmasks. It does everything. I've got a hunt video coming, Daryl. And it's going to be, and I'm using the Deus too. You guys aren't going to believe the day that I had with this machine running it with the 11-inch coil. And I was running that sweeper program. It just.
Is it a 1700 sight?
It's a 17. Well, of course, all my sights now are 1700s because you know that now. But this site is. It's a special site, but I had already hunted it a few times already, and the Deus 2 running that sweeper program really, really, really just crushed it. I mean, just crushed it. And I've gone back in there with the Manticore. I've gone back in there with the Legend. I've gone back in there with the Equinox. Um, Again, I love testing those machines on those types of sites because it shows me their true potential and what they're capable of. And it's fun hunting behind other machines. I just get a thrill out of that and knowing that, hey, I've already hunted it with this. Now I'm going to come back and hunt it with that. And let's see what can happen with that as well.
But now that custom fair limit program you and Michael come up with, that's a good one too for the Manticore. I bet you.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I'm seeing a lot of things with it. And on this next video that I released with the Manticore, you're going to see, I'm going to talk a little more about, what to look for when you're running those Ferris limits and what I'm actually seeing on, bad targets, good targets, so on. So I'm going to sort of walk you through some of that on this next hunt. And you guys are going to, I think, will really appreciate that. And of course, I'm a school teacher, so I'm always teaching in some form or fashion. So again, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But again, it's the Deus 2. I can't say enough good things about the Deus 2 because it's just a solid machine. The Manticore is a solid machine at this point, and both of those machines are right there together as far as performance. I don't think you lose with either one at this point.
Well, I've got both, and I can tell they're both awesome machines. Awesome.
Yeah. Doug Atkins says, Joel, your website does not show the 13-inch. So Joel, you can Fly Rock says, hey, or Joel says, hey, says I might not have it on the website yet. They are $3.99. He says, hit me up for the best service. So there you go. So Doug, you can get that 13-inch there as well. Tab 2 Guns says my setup is sweet. I like that setup for hunting on the beach, especially with that 13-inch. And if I'm using the Manticore, I don't mind running that 15-inch out on the beach. I'll get some big coverage and some deep gold rings. How about that, Daryl?
That'd be awesome.
That will definitely be awesome. So Doug Atkins says, Joel, he's going to give you a shout for that 13-inch coil. So there you go. So, but yeah, so we've talked about the M9. Of course, a lot of you are crazy about it. And I think, again, there it is. One more time for those of you that are just joining in. It's the M9 coil. I am going to have some videos coming up real soon with the M9. I haven't even used it yet. Y'all see it's got a clean bottom on it. But Daryl's going to have his on Monday. Surfside Dan's going to have his coming up, I think, real soon. Michael, I know, is getting one sometime real soon. So we're gonna try to get up some video content for you guys and try to get those things up and let you guys sort of see. I do have the M8, so maybe I can do some sort of comparison because a lot of you are asking, which would you use, the M8 or the M9? And Daryl sort of addressed that. Daryl, tell them what you said about the M8 versus the M9 and which one you think.
The M8 works very well in trashy areas. If you're hunting somewhere, well, let me tell you this. I was out there at the high school, and they took out the bleachers, and I used the little M8 coil. There's so much trash underneath bleachers, and I was finding nickels, quarters, dimes, pennies out of that trash. The M9, you can take that to an open field,
right?
But you got good ground coverage, just like we do on the Deus 2. But it for trash areas, M8 open field, and I do a lot of yard hunting. I do a lot of knocking.
Right.
The M9 coil is what I will want to use, unless it's real trashy. And then I'll use M8. So
well, and they all do so good, Daryl. That's the whole thing. And I keep saying this, and I know some people say, "Well, hey, I can't afford to buy 4 coils for a machine." Some people may feel that way. But if I had to own 2 coils, probably for the Manticore, it would be the 9 and the 11. That's what I believe at this
would be the I haven't used the 9 yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
but I like the seated hunts, so I need a big coil for the seated hunts.
Right. Well, see, I don't do a lot of seated hunting, so I mean, I don't go to those seated hunts, and so um, you know, I the reason. Let me tell you the other reason why I like big coils. I like big coils for the beach.
Hmm.
You know, if you're a beach hunter, that 15-inch coil or that 13-inch coil, if you got access to a beach or you got access to big open fields, not a lot of iron, then those big coils are going to be great. But I'm telling you, even with the 15 and the 13-inch, the separation capabilities on both of those machines,
Yep.
they're right. I mean, they're neck and neck. They perform really, really, really well. Better than what you would think. The 13 and the 15-inch coil, for sure. There's no question about it. No question about it. Um, Bobby Short said, "I think if I had all I had was a Manticore and a Deus, I would be good to go." I agree with you.
Yeah,
I
that's all
mean,
you need.
those are the two best machines on the market. No question about it. Both machines perform extremely well. There are certain situations where one machine may perform a little bit better than the other machine, but then vice versa. You know, it can go both ways. They're both good at what they do. They're both good at separation. They're both good at depth. They're both good at, all of those things. They're both good at relic hunting. They're both good at beach hunting. I mean, there's just so many things that you could look at. And ultimately, what it comes down to is what you prefer, what's going to work best for your area, what's going to work best for your types of soil, what types of hunting you're going to do. You have to go through all of that in your mind to decide which is going to be the best machine for what's the situations that you're hunting in. That's pretty much it.
And what your budget will let you for.
Yeah, and what your budget will let you, for sure. I mean, if an 1,100 or a $1,200 machine or $1,600 machine is not in your budget, there are so many great options out there, less than $1,000 bucks. Now there are so many great options out there, less than $500 bucks, Daryl. I mean, look at it. I mean, look at the offerings that we're getting from these companies, and they're all so. I've got an Xterra Pro over there, Daryl. I can take that Xterra Pro out there and I can go to the beach right now and I can start finding stuff
Yep.
for $269.
I've got a simplex out there in my shop that when people want to go hunting with me, I let them use that simplex light.
Mm-hmm.
It's real easy to use. I think Joe sold that to me for, I don't know, $179, something
Right.
like that. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, and it finds stuff. I mean, it'll find it.
Yeah, it'll find it, Daryl. You just put it up. You got to put the coil over the target to begin with, too. So that's a lot to do with it as well. So, but yeah, it's just we are living in an amazing time. There's so much there's so many great detectors out there. The technology is just improving, vastly, and we've got all sorts of different price options, all sorts of different types of machines, different manufacturers, um, machines that perform well for relic hunting, beach hunting, park hunting, yard hunting, whatever it may be. You've got a machine out there for you, whatever it is you want. And it's just a matter of going out and looking for those things and taking those machines, decide which one going to work best for you, and go do your research. Though that's the other thing too that I would strongly suggest for anyone looking at a machine. Um, go do your research, or find somebody that maybe has one, test it out and see if you like it for yourself, before you make a plunge, an investment, because it is an investment, into a metal detector. And that would be and watch channels like this where we sort of go through and walk you through some of those things. And I'm never going to tell you to buy a machine, although I will tell you that I prefer one over the other sometimes. But again, that's just because it works good for me. And right now, if I had to pick the two best machines, of course, naturally on the market, are the Manticore and the Deus too. And
Yep.
both of those machines are right there neck and neck.
What would you put number 3? I'm curious. Would you put the 900 or the Legend, or who would you put number 3?
Ooh, Daryl.
I'm putting you on the spot, but it's a good question.
Well, I'm telling you right now, really one is both of those machines. I don't, I think they're that close. The
Yeah.
Deus 2 and the Manticore. I think the Manticore, and a lot of people will agree or disagree with me, but I think the Manticore might be a tad deeper in some situations. As far as the next machine after those two machines, I don't know, Daryl. I would still say the Equinox 900 has a little bit of advantage over the Legend, and the only reason why I would say that is I believe that the Equinox 900, the user interface, I think the audio is a little better on that machine.
Yep.
It's more crisp, it's more clear. And then, of course, it's got a lot of great features. I love the orange backlight on that machine. I know some people might not like it, but I do. I like that. I think it's very fast. I think the recovery's on it. It's a very responsive machine, and that would probably be where I would go. I'd say the WS6 is right in the same range with that. But again, I like the screen a little better than what I would see on that WS6. And then I would go with the Legend. It's in that range. But again, the Legend, for what you have and the features you have and the price point it is top notch as far as that part goes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, yeah. And Flyright says the 900. I agree, Joel. I said the 900. That's what I have. I love the 900. I think the audio adjustments on it, the audio to me is really what separates the Equinox from a lot of these other machines. It's so dialed in. It's when you're on a good target. And the silver targets, you're going to know you're on a silver target. You know that.
Yeah.
Yes. And Joel says, yeah, way easier to use than Legend. It is. The Legend, and we've already said this earlier, the only thing that we see with the Legend is the user interface and the little bit of the weight. If they could adjust those things, I think they're going to sell a lot more machines. And again, I look for big things from Nocta in the future because they're really that close, and I see it coming. I see it coming really, really, really soon. Definitely.
Well, I'm hoping Garrett does something. I mean, it's American-made detector, and I mean, I would be all over that if they could come out with something to compete with the Manticore and the Deus too.
Yeah, I would be there right there with you too, Daryl. I think that Garrett, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. The Apex, when it first came out, I heard it was I've never used an Apex. I'll be honest with you, but I heard a lot of negative things.
1 week.
You had it for 1 week?
1 week and sold it on eBay.
Yeah. Well, I've also heard too within the last year that they did an update to that machine and they did improve it somewhat, but I don't know. I mean, that's just hearsay, and I don't, I'm not going to say anything bad about that machine because I really don't know. I mean, I just don't.
Hopefully the storm, they come out with that storm. Maybe hopefully it'll be something special. We'll see.
Yeah. Bobby Short says he is warmed up to the Manticore, but I'm really tuned in to the Deus 2 audio. And I'll tell you, here's, and I think Daryl would probably agree with me on this. And I know Michael agrees with me on this, but the audio on the Deus 2 is super, super, super tonal, as far as what it gives out. It really gives you a very good tonal recognition. But it's almost too much. Do you feel that way sometimes, Daryl, when you're swinging that machine, that it's almost like overwhelming at some point?
The Deus 2 and the Manticore are totally different when it comes.
Right, they are, and Calabash and I used to have this conversation quite frequently about the differences between the Minelab products and the XP products. And one of the things that we always agreed on was that those products are two different products, but the audio are two different types of audio.
Yep.
I think that the Minelab audio is more, I want to, I hate to even use this word, but to me, it's a little more pleasant sounding
More crisp.
than the Deus 2. And if you watch some videos, and even my videos, if you watch me, sometimes you'll notice that it's just sort of, I don't know, it's not locked or dialed in the way that I think it should be. And then of course when you're hunting an iron, I mean it becomes a whole barrage of sounds in there. But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I ignore the screen. I try to go strictly by sound, whether I'm using the Deus 2 or the Manticore. If it's a
Right.
sounding, I try to keep myself from looking at that screen. I'm trying to learn those sounds, and I know it's difficult, but that's and you get used to them. You get used to the sounds of the Deus 2 and the Manticore, and
Right. Well, I mean, I cut my teeth on the Deus, the original Deus.
right.
I was used to hearing all those sounds, but at some point, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older, Daryl. I don't know what it is, but at some point, it's just sometimes it's just too overwhelming when I'm hunting an iron, and I'm just like, oh, well, I just want to hunt and have a calm hunt, you know.
I get
And
it.
I feel like the Minelab machines do a little better job of that.
It's more pleasant.
Get more tonal recognition over a target with the Deus 2 than I do the Minelab machines. But
Yeah.
there's like you just said, there's differences in that audio, and it just comes from using that audio and being used to it over a period of time. And but I mean, I like the Minelab audio. Um, I like the Deus 2 audio.
You
But
too.
they are two different types of
I like
audio
both of them.
responses. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yep, I like both of them.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about what do you think about that audio?
Well, like you said, they're totally different. I mean, I did too. Start out with the Deus 1 and got accustomed to them sounds, but I also had the Equinox 800, and I've always had either or for a backup. And when I got the Deus 2, the Equinox became my backup. So I've used the Deus 2 a lot more than I did the Equinox. And then when I got the Manticore, it's kind of readjusting to them sounds. So um, I don't know. You kind of mentioned it. The Mind Lab stuff's got more of a pleasant,
Yeah,
pleasant.
that's what I think too. I think it's a more pleasant sound to it, more pleasant hunt. And I know you can adjust and I've said this. That's why I hunt with high square or the square audio sometimes. But of course, I can hunt with PWM on that Deus too, and I like it just as well because
Right.
it reminds me of when Calabash and I used to run pitch all the time. And but you get that tone, those tonal nuances with that machine that you don't necessarily get with the Minelab machine, other than you might you can lower the pitch and that kind of the sounds of it a little bit different, but it's not the same.
No,
It's just different.
I think they do. They done that on purpose. They don't. They know.
No, I know they know, Daryl. I definitely know they know. Golden Dredger says, "I truly feel there is a Legend 2 coming. I think it's going to be the Legend Pro. What do you think, Daryl?
Could be.
The Legend Pro. A few
Could be.
YouTubers have slipped up and said Legend 2 more than once. I bet it's a lighter machine with color screen set and new features to keep up with the Manticore. It wouldn't shock me at all from Nocta. And Nocta again, the one thing I mean, one of the main things I can say about Nocta is that they're not backing down.
No.
they're gonna go after it too. And I just wish XP would do the same thing. I
Yeah.
really do. But
Not that they ain't playing. I mean, they come out with Legend, then they come out with
oh
Simple.
yeah, they're constantly trying to find what's going to work. But again, and I know we hear this quite often. They listen to their customers, they listen to the consumers, and they try to get out product that those consumers and customers want. Now they have flooded the market with a whole bunch of lower end machines at this point, but again, that's what most people want.
Right.
They're no dummies when it comes to this. They know what they're doing as far as their marketing strategy goes. And they realize that that 500 and below market is going to be a market that people are going to be tuned into. They're going to be dialed into that. They're,
I'm,
you
I'm
know,
just
not everybody can go out and buy a $1,200 machine.
I'm
Or
just waiting to see if Minelab comes out with something to replace the CTX 3030 in that kind of price range.
right, and it would not surprise me at all if
Me,
Minelab does that. Who knows? Minelab is just, I'm telling you, they are going for the jugular right now, and I believe that. Louis Villarreal says, I think the screen on the Legend could be better with larger VDI. I also noticed the angle on the Legend's handle pod leans down more than the Knox. It's a little bit awkward on the wrist when swinging. He's correct on all that. My wrist really gets sore when I swing the Legend. My elbow will start to throb a little bit using the Legend. But as far as what you're getting for less than $600, I mean, you're not going to beat that machine. I mean, you're just not. It's just got way too much stuff on it, and that's why I say the Legend is one to definitely keep in mind if you're in that price range. I've been running reactivity 0 on abandoned colonial sites, and yeah, a lot of info there, not for everyone for sure. You're right, don't tread on me, and that's what I was talking about. I mean, we can open up the Deus 2 as much as we want, and that's a good thing. I mean, because there are some sites where you want to be able to do that, but again, it depends on what kind of hunt you want. Do you want one where you're constantly being bombarded on some of these really heavy iron sites, or do you want a hunt where you're going out and saying, "Hey, I really don't want to hear a ton of that noise. I want to just sort of hone in on some of those good targets." Of course, you can turn the iron volume down on the Deus too, which is what I do quite frequently. Um, or maybe even turn it down to where you just barely hear the iron. That's another great suggestion that a lot of people could try. If they're feeling what I call ear fatigue from hearing all that noise, and the Deus 2 does have that option to do that as well. NC Relic Hunter says that the rodeo got rained out. How about that? So, what do you think? You think we can get NC Relic Hunter in here with us real quick?
I didn't know Cowboys got rained out.
Yeah, Cowboys go out there. They work regardless, don't they?
Rain, sleet, or snow, I thought. Wow.
That's right. If it's a rodeo, they should definitely do that. So let's see here. Let's see if we can get Michael in here with us too. Digging Daryl. He'd love to get in on this. I know. He's probably chomping at the bit.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. All right. And we got one other thing too before we get out of here as well, but we're going to still continue on. Yeah, it's you can turn the iron volume down on the Deus too and hunt with it and pick out those good targets and so on. And it's really, really, really good when you hunt with it that way. Bobby Short says the Equinox and Manticore sounds like a solid hit whenever a good target. That's right. I agree with you 100%.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Stink Ass Cat. We appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you for that $20 donation. Again, all super thanks, super chat, all go back to the channel. We appreciate you. And Stink Ass Cat he's asked me a bunch of questions too, and we really appreciate him. But again, thank you so much for that super chat, super thanks. We appreciate it and glad to have you in here with us. And you're getting in here late, but we're still continuing for a few more minutes. So stick around. Maybe there's something you'll get out of this live stream. Bobby Short says the Equinox and Manticore sounds like a solid hit. We said that.
Mm-hmm.
He said this metal detecting community is growing, especially with all these new affordable machines. And yeah, and we've said that quite frequently.
That's a great thing.
It is a great thing because competition makes better products.
Yes, it does.
That's what capitalism is about. That's what free market is about. And
everybody needs competition.
That's exactly right. Metal Detect Northwestern Wisconsin's in here. Hey guys, glad to have you in here. Lewis is in here. He said he agrees with us. He says, I want one where I find stuff. Yeah, we all want that. But you know what? Like I said, Daryl, we're going to find something with any of these. So if you get these metal detectors, there's so many good ones out there. It's gonna do very, very well. So let's bring on the bearded wonder, Digging Daryl.
Bring him on. Hello, Michael.
There he is. Look at there. Look, he's in the house.
Hey, how y'all doing?
What's up, Michael?
and he's got some bricks behind him.
We got rained out. It was a flood at the rodeo. So
What'd you do?
Come on back home.
Yeah, you didn't want to go out there and rope some cows and some
in the mud. Yeah, I thought cowboys worked rain, sleet, or snow. I didn't think a rain would stop the cowboy.
Yeah, it was a river. It was people were leaving left and right.
Yeah,
it was probably 2,000 people there, and they were
wow.
hitting the road.
Awesome.
So Mike, we lost him. He'll come back. So Bobby Short says the Minelab audio sounds like a home run, solid and sweet, and it does.
Yep.
Dirt Devil Detective says everybody's getting soft. He says everybody's getting soft. They don't.
I am too. I ain't gonna lie.
Look, I'll be the first to agree with you.
Yeah, I am too.
He says he wants to know, is there? No, there's not. That was the news, that there isn't any news. So, and we got Michael back in.
Well, hopefully they're listening, and
they are. They've sort of reached out a little bit to me, sort of wanting to get some information. So we'll see what happens.
Well, you know how it is. I mean, they've been king of the hill for a while. When you're king of the hill, you don't have to do a whole lot whenever you're selling products and your product's doing well. But people are catching up with you and fixing to pass you. They're coming out with something. They'll do something.
Yeah. Carrie Pope says, hey, guys, I just got in. I love my Legend. Deus 2. Still learning the sounds, but I'm loving her. Just got my Manticore, and it's giving me the blues. Well, Carrie, stay with that Manticore 2. Once you figure it out, it's going to be a good thing for you as well. And tune into the channel. I mean, we've got some things, too, that we are going to be sharing, and check out some of our videos on the channel too. That might be able to help you with a little bit of that learning curve.
On that Manticore, put in that custom Ferris limit program. You'll like it. It'll change your mind on it. I promise you.
It will. And again, I've mentioned a little bit about the Ferris limits, and we're trying to keep Michael in here, but Michael he don't want to stay in here with us, Daryl.
I don't know if it's the weather or what, but it keeps going in and out on my end. But yeah, like I said, we got some storms, it's thunder and the lightning when I come back in the house.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably what it is. Well, Michael, we've talked about everything. Of course, you're familiar with a lot of this too. We're talking about the Manticore, and we were talking about audio and sound, a little bit about those things, and how we just feel like the Manticore gives you a little more pleasant of a hunt, that you don't get a lot of ear fatigue with the day like you do with the Deus 2 in some situations. And of course, I talked about turning the iron volume down too, so you can avoid some of that.
Right. Yeah, and I mean the last update they did make it on the Deus 2 where you could turn that iron volume, to a pretty low level, and that does help. But yeah, I agree with you that the Minelab audio it's more pleasant to me.
It is. And Corey Pope was on here. He just got a Manticore. He's coming over from a Legend. He said he was struggling a little bit, but we're just telling him to be patient with it. Go check out some videos. Check out our channel. Check out those custom Ferris limits. And all of those things should be able to help him sort of cope with.
If he's a coin hunter too, guys, Mental's got a pretty good program for coin hunting. It's pretty good. So it depends on what he's doing. I mean, if he's relic hunting, it's hard to beat the custom Ferris limit program. But if he's strictly a coin hunter, take a look at that one too. It's a good
Yeah,
program.
I'd even say, go with the stock Ferris slams to start with and learn the machine. And when you learn what the machine's saying, then you can try those custom Ferris limits. You know what I mean? Because it's a learning curve, and those factory Ferris lamps they're pretty conservative.
Yeah, they are, and they work really, really well. Michael and I have had very great, very good success running those custom Ferris limits, and I think Daryl set his machine up with those custom Ferris limits as well. And once we figured those things out, I think that really made a big difference for us. But like Michael said, maybe when you're just starting out, maybe just leave it in the factory default custom Ferris limits and try to learn the machine first, and then go back and then you can adjust those Ferris limits to whatever works for you. And
Be careful with that sensitivity.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people want, and I'm glad you said that, Daryl. A lot of people want to run that sensitivity up way too high on that machine. Even though I know it's got 35 increments of sensitivity, you don't need to run that machine that high. That machine is super hot to begin with. And I think that was a part of the problem in the beginning, was that a lot of people were going out and running that sensitivity so high. I think anywhere for us, Michael and I really like, especially with the 11-inch coil, 20 to 22 is about where we like to run our machines, don't we, Michael?
Yeah, and if you got a test card and you can go out there and test it, and it's going to hit those deep coins or bullets or whatever you got, hit that sensitivity. You're not losing depth. I mean, even at 20, 22, it's still plenty deep, So I wouldn't worry about that too much.
Michael said it too. If you don't have a test garden, get you a test garden. Create a test garden.
Test gardens are great. I mean, they can give you sort of an indication. Like I do a lot of separation tests as well. And the separation test to me helped me out a lot with sort of what I could see out in the field. So yeah, the sensitivity, you can get crazy with that sensitivity on that Manticore, and it can definitely impact you as well. So you definitely want to be careful with that. One thing that I want to do, guys, is I need to do our fines. We haven't done our fines yet, Michael. So we're going to do our fines. We were waiting on you before we did our fines. How about that?
Well, I enjoy seeing them. I mean,
looks
like I checked in about the right time.
Yeah, you did. You checked in right about the right time. Also, too, just a couple of things too before we show the fines. If you are interested in joining our membership program, we do have that available. It is scrolling across the bottom. We have a $9.99 and a $4.99 membership. We are going to be doing our members only live stream, and Digging Daryl's a part of it. Of course, Michael's a part of it. We will have that coming up, not this week, but the following week. We do some special giveaways and things on that members only live stream. We sometimes have special guests. We sometimes do some special information that we don't do on the regular live streams. But if you're really you want to get a little more, get special access, get a lot of special attention from me, Michael, Digging Daryl, anybody that's a part of that membership program, then come and join the membership program. I think you'll find it to be worthwhile. You can ask those questions, and usually between a lot of us on there, we can help people and sort of give you guys a heads up. Now, there are some things too that I do with that. Sometimes I send out videos exclusively for our members, which I've done in the past. So that's another thing that we do. If there's something that I've noticed that I think people on the membership channel would want, then I'll send that out specifically to the members. But again, you don't have to join. We're still going to be here every Friday or Saturday in this case, bringing you information and sharing and hanging out with you guys and just enjoying being on here. So again, we got that coming as well. So again, you don't have to sign up for it, but it is available. $9.99, $4.99. Support the channel. You get a special badge to let you know how long you've been a member and so on. And we got some other things too that we're going to be working on with that during the summer. So again, definitely, if you're interested, it's there for you. If not, no big deal. But we do have those things available as well. So let's check out these finds, guys, real quick. So, and that's got my old date, but we're going to go on here. Mr. Matt Johnson shared these to us, and guys, look at those.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we got a Confederate button. Now the one down here at the bottom, that is actually a gold coin that they tried to turn into a time bag button to try to hide the coin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he told me about that. And that was really, really, really cool. But of course, you see the Confederate button, which is extremely nice. I love that. That's an officer's button, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a very, very, very nice button. And that is from Mr. Matt Johnson. So again, super
great job on that, Matt. That's awesome.
Yes,
Sure is.
Yeah, and then the gold coin.
Wow.
I mean that's pretty cool.
It
But,
is a gold coin. It's pretty special, but one that's been altered like that you got a story behind it. That's
Sure
an
do.
awesome find.
Yeah, those are super, super finds. Joel just says I purchase memberships for the channel for free picks, people randomly that don't have memberships. So Joel just purchased, and we appreciate Joel. 5 Southern Relic memberships. So Joel's going to be handing out those to random people who don't have memberships to get them involved. And again, thank you, Joel, for everything that you do for the channel and support of the channel as well. And again, these finds are sponsored by Joel. You see his card up in the upper right-hand corner, but appreciate Joel so well. Don't Tread on Me says that's unique. Congratulations. And Brad says, thanks, Joel, for that membership. We appreciate you. Fly Rock, thank you so much, Mr. Joel. We appreciate you as well. So those were from Matt, and appreciate Matt sharing those to us. If you would like to share your finds, you can always share them at sransc@gmail.com. And we'll get your finds up on our next live stream, which will be coming next Friday, Michael. So
Yep.
it should be a good time. So if you want us to share your finds on here, we'll be glad to do it. sransc@gmail.com, and we would greatly appreciate it. So let's look at these next set of finds here. We're going to take that off, and we've got a beautiful 1845 large cent and a 1740 real. What do you think about those, Michael?
Those are some awesome finds. 1740. That's an old real.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Digging Daryl?
Won't find them where I'm at. That's for sure.
Those are beautiful.
That's awesome. 1740. Wow.
Yes, that's an old one. I've never dug one that old. So
I haven't either.
Have you got one that old, Michael?
No, 1774 is the oldest one I have.
Yeah, I think the oldest one I have is 1763. So that's definitely a very, very nice one.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got me by 100 years. 1863 is my oldest coin.
Hey, and he says he found those 2 feet apart.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, those are nice. Those are definitely nice. 1845 and 1740s.
They're in great shape, too.
Yeah, real. Definitely. Yeah. Yes, Bobby Short says that's a great find as well.
Pretty good shape, too. Yeah.
Yeah, they're in very good shape. So that was definitely some nice finds. Well, those are all of our finds. And we only had 2 people submit finds this past week. So,
That's pretty fun. Good job on that LC hunt. That's awesome.
Yeah, those are some spectacular finds. I was like going, man, that looks so good. So, again, congratulations to LC. Congratulations to Matt on their super finds. And I'd be interested, what machines were you guys using? That'll be the next question, because I don't think they told me what machines they were using. So we'll see if LC responds back. So Michael, we talked a lot about the M9 coil too. Anything you want to add to about the M9? What you think or what you expect to see? Diggin' Darrell said he'll have his on Monday. Surfside Dan said he'll have his on Tuesday from Joel. So those coils are coming to both of these guys. What are you looking most forward to out of the Manticore M9 coil?
Well, it's going to be a lighter coil. I think it's lighter than the M8 coil. Is that right?
It is
pretty
light.
close to
Yes,
it.
it is. It's lighter.
It's going to be a light coil. It's it's a 9-inch. I think that's the perfect size. As far as relic hunting, and then it's lightweight. It should be a deep coil. Pretty deep anyway. I think you'll get a little more depth with it than you would over the M8 coil.
Right,
So,
right. LC Hunt said he was using his days too with the 9-inch coil. So that guy, that just verifies to us, right? Darrell, we'd already talked about that.
Look what program he was using. Sweeper.
Oh, yeah. there we go. Look, it's the sweeper, Michael. Hey, look, Michael was with me on this hunt, the last hunt that I did with the Deus too, running that sweeper program. What happened out there, buddy? Can you tell him?
He found a lot of stuff, a lot of coins too, colonial coins.
that video's coming too. That sweeper program knocks fire, and I've sent it to the XP. And they don't seem to be as fond of that sweeper program the way all of us are here in the United States. But look, I don't care. It works for you guys, and that's why we do it. That's why we come out and try to give this information. So that's good. Metal Tech in Texas says, howdy, y'all, just woke up. So again, LC Hunt says sweeper program disc of, he discriminated, of 42. Wow. So he went up. Bobby Short says the sweeper program is really good. Stink Ass Cat's got a good question. Michael dropped out of here for a second. Do concentric coils normally go deeper than the others? That's a good question. I've heard that concentric coils are deeper. I just don't know. With the technology and everything that we've got going on, that the concentric coil is any deeper than a elliptical or double D. What do you think, Darrell? What's your opinion on
that? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, you're going to see with the concentric coils, especially on some of the pulse machines, you'll see those things go a little bit deeper. Michael, you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. What do you think? Stink Ass Cat asked a very good question. Do you think concentric coils are deeper than the other types of coils?
They're supposed to do better as far as separating an iron. I don't know if they're deeper. I think a double D coil is probably going to be a deeper coil, but I'm not sure that you can get. I don't know that there's any concentric coils for the multi-frequency machine.
Well, but don't you normally see the concentric coils now mainly on those the PI machines? Pulse induction machines usually have concentric coils, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. You can get them either way, I think. But yeah, most people are using a concentric coil.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I don't really know if that's the case, especially with the technology and everything that's improved over the last 10, 15 years.
There could be something we see. I mean, I don't know at the moment. I don't think that you can use them on these multi-frequency machines.
No, we haven't seen a concentric coil with a multi-frequency machine, and that's true. So we don't really know. But again, when you're looking at multi-frequency, you're going to be looking at those double D coils with a round coil with a double D in it. And I mean, that Manticore is probably one of the deepest ones that I've seen, along with the Equinox. The Deus 2 with the 11 and the 13 inch, I think are really, really deep. But your max in mild soil, 15, 16 inches. What do you think, Michael?
Yeah, I would say that. That's another thing. Concentric coil it usually does better in mineralized soil.
Right.
Um,
And Stick Ass Cat just asked the question. He said the nine is a double D.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a double D. It's not a true concentric coil. It's round, but it's a round double D.
Right.
Yeah.
Detective Gunn says he thinks concentric coils pinpoint so much better, and he could be right. I don't have a machine now that has a concentric coil on it. Golden Dredger says pulse or monocoils for the most part, and older Whites ran concentric. Yeah, I knew that the Whites machines had those concentric coils. He says a big transmit coil around the outside of the circle. Right.
Yeah.
So it's going to cover a little more area of the circle with a smaller inner coil winding as the receive coil. That's concentric. Right. So there you go. But yeah, I don't have a machine that's got a concentric coil on it.
Yeah, I've never used one with concentric coil.
Right. Metal Texas says thanks for the ship, Joel. So apparently, what'd you get from Joel, Metal Detecting Texas? I'm curious. So he's ordered something, but let's see what he says too, Michael.
I know several of the not the machines, the single frequency machines, you could get a concentric coil for those. You know, like the Amphibio and
yeah, those are some of the older machines, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Those are some of the older machines for sure. Oh, he got a free membership. Okay, there you go, Metal Detecting Texas. Golden Dredger says pulse mono, the winding in one coil around the outside on the mono is transmit and receive coil. Does both on the pulse mono. Again, I think I've only used one machine that had a concentric coil on it, and it was a White's, and I can't even remember the model number of it. But it was a while ago, for sure. So, but anyway, most of the coils now are double Ds, and they're elliptical shape in most cases as well. So the round coil with the M9, I think is a special coil. I think it's going to be really, really, really good for a lot of us, especially for relic hunters. I think it's going to be good in the beach. I think it's going to be good in water, which is why they designed it this way. Anything else, Michael, about the M9 real quick? We're going to be heading out of here in just a few minutes.
I'm looking forward to using it.
Yeah. Daryl, what are you most looking forward to with the M9?
Well, I'm just curious to see the depth on it and how it works in trashy areas. I mean, I love the 9-inch coil on the DS2. I hope it's equal to that at least. Yeah, that's my go-to coil on the DS2 is the 9-inch, and I enjoy using it. So I'm hoping it does the same with the Manticore.
Yeah. So, all right, Daryl. So you put me on the spot. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
When you go to pick up a machine, you're going relic hunting. Which machine do you grab?
DS2.
Okay, so you grab the DS2, and tell us why you grab the DS2 first over the Manticore, or why you think you should grab the DS2 over the Manticore.
Well, I've used the DS2 now for what couple of years now.
Right.
I know the machine pretty well. I've got the sweeper program on it. The sound, I enjoy the sound of it. I don't look at the screen. Very, very seldom do I look at the screen.
Right.
But now I will tell you this. No, I'm using the Manticore more now than I ever have. It's just learning the machine.
Right.
That's all there is to it. I've got a good hunt coming up to a 1915 house coming up. Me and Richard Smart's going to hit it, and we're going to take the 9-inch coils on the Manticores and see how they do next week. So looking forward to it.
Right. Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, it really all depends on what you're getting ready to do.
Yeah.
Which I think, and both of those machines would perform, great in any of that situation. I was sort of hoping you would say too that you like the DS2 because of the lightweight and it being lighter as well.
I've got so much stuff on mine. I've got mine decked out. It's a little bit heavier than
Michael, you already see his Manticore. Show him that Manticore real quick.
Oh, yeah, I like tricking stuff out. I got the skins and all that. Got the little all the protectors on there.
Where'd you
He
get
sure
the
does.
Where'd
He's
you get
got
the
all
bumper
kinds of stuff
cover
on it,
from?
don't he?
That's
Hey,
what I'm curious.
off eBay. Some
Yeah.
gentleman had it on eBay.
Yeah,
Little
that
rubber cover.
looks pretty cool. Let me see the remote cover that you got.
This is from DC Diggs.
Yeah.
He makes these for the Steve shafts that just screws in.
No,
Yeah.
I was talking about for the Manticore, not for the day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
It's just a little cover. It's that little cover that fits on it. Matches the same.
Okay.
Sells both of them.
And you got the little sticker on there too.
Oh yeah, you got
Like
all
a
that.
rubber bump around the outside.
Yeah,
It's just a little rubber bumper.
That looks really cool, though. It really does.
It makes them look good. But now it doesn't change the performance by no means.
Nah. Hey, but you can look good when you're out there swinging it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Showboat.
Michael wants a pink version of that.
I bet he can find it.
Yeah,
I'd almost bet
somebody's
$1
got
that he can find it.
They
They even got the dark ones.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. Well, I love it. I mean, I think it looks really cool. I had my Eagle Eye sort of decked out like that. It was all in red. I had the red cover around the outside of it and all that. Calabash used to make fun of me when I would get it out because he thought I was he would call me a sissy. He said, "Don't put that stuff on there on your machine." I said, "Well, I like it. I think it looks cool."
I got I was gonna tell you, I got the longer lower shafts for my Manticore. I got them from Steve's detecting rods.
You need one. You're 6'5".
Yeah. So it helps out a lot.
Right. Michael, did you see? Well, he just showed it though, but he's got that Steve's rods on his machine. It looks really, yeah. I mean, it looks really good on that machine.
Yeah, I've got it on both of them. I've got with the big Coil. I went ahead and got another one, got it set up with the counterweight.
Look at that.
That's pretty neat.
Got it with a counterweight, so for the bigger Coil.
Does the grip on it, is it a little slick too? You feeling the grip on, or you wrap or something like that?
Yeah, it's slick. But I got textured gloves that I wear, so that makes up for it.
Oh yeah,
right.
I got it.
Yeah, but I have seen people put some kind of textured tape around them, but no, my gloves keeps it. Which I don't water hunt, so I don't. It probably wouldn't perform very good in the water.
Right. Michael, what do you think about? We've already sort of touched on this, but I'm gonna get your feeling. What do you think that maybe XP needs to go as far as trying to keep up with what's going on right now? What's your thoughts and what do you think?
Well, I think they need to have another update. I think they had when they released 1.0, he had something in mind, because sensitive full tones is the only program that is left over from 1.0 pretty much that has the same filters and everything. So I hope they're working on an update, kind of bringing those programs back from 1.0 where they've tweaked on them and they're running a little more stable.
Right.
And
one thing that you and I we haven't really talked about, and Dig and Daryl can chime in on this too, is that seems to be the only go-to program for us with this new setup. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like you're sort of pigeonholed with what we do. I'm like you. I think that they need to figure out how to make those programs a little better, running those particular filters, because you and I both know, and Dig and Daryl probably knows this too, as well as most of the people that were on here, was that we used to use deep high conductor all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of our go-to programs. We used to use general all the time. That was one of our go-to programs. We used to run fast all the time. Mm-hmm. But now it's almost like we don't have those programs to choose from the way that we did with 0.71 on that XP machine. What
Well,
are the,
there is a big advantage to seeing. I mean, after you do some testing with it,
oh
there's an
yeah. Well, we
advantage to
know what the
sensitive full
advantage
tones.
is.
Yeah,
The advantage is that it separates better. You've got those max. You can set that max frequency setting up to where it can unlock some of those relics mixed in iron with running it at 40 kilohertz. We figured all that stuff out. We know that we've got that discrimination set the way we need to. We run that sensitivity the way that we do. We know that high square or square works really well with that. I mean, we figured out all of that, but I just don't know. I don't know if XP is going to be able to make that switch. It just seems like there's something that is missing trying to get over to some of those other programs that we were so used to using. And now it seems like all we use is sensitive full tones because that's the program that really works the best for us. And it's the only one that we found that will give us an accurate ID with a target mixed in iron.
Right.
And that's where I'm really curious. Now, I do believe XP can do a couple of things. I think number one, they can release that new coil. They can release the 9-inch coil, or the 5x9-inch elliptical coil. They could release it with higher frequencies for that multi-frequency, which might be what the holdup is. Like Don't Tread on Me was saying earlier. They could change some of the screen dynamics to try to match up. They're never going to be able to get a color screen out of that remote head.
right.
So, I mean, that's it. What else could they do, Michael? I mean, those are the things that come to my mind. Digging Daryl, what do you think too?
I think you guys have said it. You know, you guys come up with a sweeper program. It works great in a mild and moderate soil, but not everybody has mild to moderate soil, so they need some different programs to go to, and XP needs to step up and figure it out for it. But
Right.
we got what we need out of XP. I mean, as far as
well, we know, and that's the whole thing. You know, I've sort of run out of things to talk about with that machine at a certain point. I mean, I've done the WS6. I've talked about the sweeper. I've talked about sensitive full tones. I've talked about the different coil sizes. I mean, it's almost like, but I would love to be able to open up one of those other programs to make it to where, we could do more with those other programs.
Yeah.
But if you're running 1.1 and you're running 2.0 or you're running 1.0, those other programs, although they got some benefit in certain situations, it's almost like I've totally tuned those out, and I haven't found the thing that's going to unlock those programs the way they did before on 0.71.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Michael?
I mean, it just to me it doesn't. Just those programs like General and Deep AC, they just don't behave like they used to.
Right.
Right. Greeny Meanie says, I would like to see an XP offer a color screen, and we all would. But whether they're ready to do that, that's the whole other question. I don't know that they are. Ricky Bennett says, I'm still using it. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, a color screen is nice, but there's a battery aspect to that too. There's a bigger battery in the Manticore. Obviously, it's a bigger control unit. So if they keep that same size with the color screen on XP, that's going to really cut back on your battery time.
I agree with you. Ricky Bennett says he's still using deep high conductor, but most of the people that I've heard, and Ricky can answer this too, most of the people that I've heard that are using deep high conductor are still using deep high conductor with 0.71. They're not using deep high conductor with 1.1 or with 2.0. I have yet to run into anybody that was using deep high conductor. And let me tell you why, because like I've said and what I've shown, even with the sweeper program, is that not only do you get the correct audio, but you get the correct target ID as well running that sweeper program with the 1.0 filters versus the deep high conductor with the 0.71 filters. And any of you that have watched Iffy Signal's channel, he brings up that quite often. It's that 789 thing with the nails and mixed targets. You get that 789 number popping up. You might get good audio. So that could be part of it as well. So, I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. The other thing that I think XP can do at this point, and Michael, I know you and I have talked about this, is I think that XP could release some sort of lower end machine to sort of combat what's going on with some of these other companies, some of these other competitors.
Yeah, I mean, I know they had the WS6 Master, but I mean it's still more expensive than a lot, like the double score and the Xterra Pro. They still need to release a.
Well, if they want to get some of that market, they're going to have to release something in that mid tier, lower tier type deal. Now they may come out with an XP ORX 2. That could be the next machine that comes out. That's maybe at a lower price point in that range. That could be the next thing that possibly comes out. I don't know. And of course, everybody wants the 5x9 coil, and then maybe possibly some sort of update. Don't Tread on Me says, I've used deep high conductor a lot, 1.1, high square, full tone, zero reactivity, and it's absolutely killer. But here's the problem that I see with deep high conductor is that you don't get an accurate ID on that, and you're going to still get some of that 789 stuff popping up. If you're just hunting off audio, it might work okay, but I like sensitive full tones over deep high conductor and deep. And look, Michael and I have tested both of this. The deep high conductor, Michael, will deep high conductor hit that 16-inch bullet that you got in your yard?
It will. Well, not it used to. It won't now.
It won't now, right? Because of those filters, because of the changes. It will not hit. He's got a 16-inch Civil War bullet buried, and what program hits it, Michael? Tell us.
Sensitive full tones.
Yes.
Most time I can run my reactivity down around 1.52, and it'll hit it no problem.
Good. Do you think it would hit it if you run it at zero reactivity for deep high conductor?
It might. I need to try that.
Yeah. I'd be curious. But deep high conductor for me right now, and that used to be my go-to program.
Yeah.
It's not my go-to program anymore for that. At least that's what I've seen. So for whatever that's worth. All right. So anything else, guys? I think it's about time for us to get out of here. We've been on here an hour, almost 2 hours. We got to get out of here.
Man, I appreciate the opportunity. I had a blast tonight, guys.
Dig and Daryl, you are always welcome on here. We appreciate all of your support. You are an awesome supporter, follower of the channel. And again, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on here tonight. And
we enjoy your videos too, by the way.
Oh yeah, I love your videos, especially when you go out with the kids too.
Yeah, we got to get old Beeper Bryant back out there. He's kind of slacked off a little bit.
Yeah. Well, what are your plans coming up, real quick, before we head out of here?
Well, tomorrow, Sunday, got to go to church. Then after church, we're going to try to do some detecting tomorrow afternoon. And then I go back to work Monday and work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So, yeah, hopefully we'll hit something good next weekend, me and Richard Smart. So.
Okay. So where y'all got a yard?
Yeah, a good friend of mine just bought a house outside San Francisco, Arkansas, over by where I Civil War relic hunt.
Right.
And he just bought a house with 5 acres. The home was built in 1915. So with 5 acres, so we're looking forward to that. actually Richard's dad hunted it with a White's metal detector in the 70s.
Wow.
Found a gold ring. So I'm sure it's been hunted.
Right. That's
We'll put
okay.
these newer detectors on that dirt and see if we can find anything.
Well, you'll have to keep us posted on that.
I will.
And if you find something, you got to send us some of those pics.
I definitely will.
For sure. So I can't thank you enough for being on here with us tonight. Michael, glad you were able to make it in for the last little half part of the show. And we're going to have some more adventures coming up. I got a lot of videos coming. Again, I'm still cycling through some videos. This next video hunt, again, is with the Manticore, so you guys will get to see that. But I've also got a great Deus 2 video coming, so you can look forward to seeing the XP Deus 2 and the Minelab Manticore on the next couple of videos. And the one with the Deus 2 is probably one of the best hunts I've had in a while. And Michael was there to actually see it. It was a great day, so I look forward to sharing that with you guys. And I'm also too going to try to, because I know I've had a couple of people ask me, hey, can you sort of do a comparison video between the M8 and the M9? So I'm going to try to get that up to show you guys that M8 versus an M9 Coil video. So we'll do that and try to show you maybe some things with that as well. And I think you guys will enjoy it. Again, I appreciate everyone that donated to the channel tonight. Appreciate Joel Wilton 925 with his donation. Stinkass Cat, thank you for your donation. Fly Rock for the gifted memberships to a lot of our followers and subscribers. We appreciate each and every one of you for that. And we wish you guys all the best as we get ready for Memorial Day weekend. We got a long weekend coming up next weekend. So I hope all of you will have an opportunity to get out, metal detect, have fun. If you got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out through one of the videos or join the next live stream. If you got finds you want to share with us, feel free to send those over to us at sransc@gmail.com, and we will get your finds up. And
don't forget to get one of these comfortable shirts too now.
Yeah. So, and Digging Daryl says, yeah, hook you up with a shirt. Check out, that's down below. So you can get one of those Southern Relic Adventures shirts, soft cotton, which Daryl's talking about. And we got a lot of things coming in the near future. So stay tuned. All our members, we'll be doing our members live stream, not next week, but the following week. So be prepared for that. And I guess that's going to be it. I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of your week and enjoys the rest of your weekend. Michael, anything you want to say?
Yeah, hopefully the rain's going to hold off tomorrow. We can get out and find some rallies tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. Digging Daryl, last words?
Hey, guys, I appreciate it. Had a blast tonight. And stay safe and hope you find a lot of good treasure, especially on that 1700 site. You got
Daryl, this place is immaculate.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Is that place not immaculate or what?
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place.
Sir Dan will tell you too. He's been on it. It's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. So again, guys, thank y'all so much. Y'all take care. Digging Daryl, hang out with us after we close this out, and then we'll catch you guys really, really soon. Guys, take care. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We'll catch you on our next adventure. Take care. See you guys.
See you guys.